you can find a way to break free from your need to misuse alcohol. Or reestablish your relationship with it. Reestablish that you are in charge. That's really the primary focus here, because you are in charge. You are in charge to make conscious choices every single day of how it is you want to live your life, who it is you want to be, and what it is you want to do. So the little holy sober insight is the next part. What story have you been telling yourself about your drinking? We all do it. We also typically create a narrative that works or makes sense, but not always the whole truth. On the next page, explore your drinking story. Really go there. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat your experience by writing what makes sense. Have a chat with yourself and let it flow. It's your story. So on the next page, I tell myself. Now, when you start your writing, say, I tell myself, and then allow your pen to flow. What do you tell yourself? So I told myself, at the end of my drinking, I told myself, this is as good as it gets. It's not going to get any better, and that's not good. I mean, who wants to feel that sense of hopelessness, right? That the only thing you're looking forward to is numbing out, checking out, forfeiting your day, forfeiting your life, just so you can stop that pain of existence. Now, I wasn't suicidal, but I wasn't enjoying life either, and I could care less if I woke up another day. At least that's what I thought I felt at that time. Now, if you go back a few years before that, the last 2 years where I was at that hopelessness, before that is I was misusing alcohol for the same reason. I was telling myself the same story that I hear so often from men and women alike. I use alcohol to shut down my thinking. I can't stop thinking. I can't unwind. This is another benefit of journaling, is that you get to get your thoughts and your emotions out on paper. They're not yours to store. We're not supposed to hold on to every little thing. And if there's something that's disrupting us, something that's causing us pain, it needs to be set free. And that doesn't mean that you have to tell the world or even confess it to another, but to let it go, to really look at it and own it and really experience, really acknowledge what it is that you're trying to avoid. The writing prompts that I provide is actually a tool, so it helps prime your will. It kind of gets your emotion, and that's the whole point of the writing prompt, is so that you don't have to look at that blank page and say, Dear Diary, today Johnny. No, I want you to, the story I tell myself is, or I tell myself that I'm tired. I'm too tired to fight not drinking. Whatever it is. And then go on, keep building that story. Look for, and it doesn't have to, one thing I want you to make sure of that you're not doing is that you're not paying too much attention to punctuation. You're not paying too much attention to, oh, that doesn't make sense. Write whatever is coming out of your fingertips to your pen and onto paper. Because those little nuggets, that's what matters. So don't be surprised if your writing gets hijacked by something that's been hiding out at some point. Like, whoa, where'd that come from? Let it go. Again, it doesn't have to make sense. This is your journal. This is for your eyes only. Writing can set those swirling, twirling, endless thoughts free. And that's what we need. We need some peace. It's when we try to avoid difficult choices that need to be made, complicated conversations, accepting a realization. For me, it was that I was acting as someone's whore. Now, this is a very personal story, and I know that I've got judgment from other people about this, but it's for your benefit. I share this because it's something that was so innately against my own values and things that I believed in. But I don't want to even take up way too much time to go into the whole depth of it. But I was somebody's whore. I was involved with a married man for years, and that it just was chipping away at my self-esteem, my self-worth. And so The things that I was using alcohol to stop thinking about was the things that were true and really calling my attention, and I refused to look at it. Now, your situation may not be near as demoralizing as what I just shared with you, but we all have those things that we don't want to face, that they cause us to wince when we think about them, and we try to get rid of them. But if they're showing up, we've got to let them out. We have to allow an opportunity to process through those thoughts. It's when we try to avoid difficult choices. That's acting as someone's whore. My values were not being honored. I knew the truth, but I drank instead of acknowledging it, and accepted that I was involved with a married man for several years, and I was fooling myself to think I was loved and special. At the end of the day, I wasn't looking to hurt anybody. Of course, that's ignorant, and it's foolish to think that way, but this was in my late 20s and very early 30s, and it was just, it's who I was. It's who I was. I was no more special to him than a new set of golf clubs. I drank away the truth. It was easier than the pain of admitting I was wrong, I was doing wrong, and I wasn't the only one being hurt by it. I did break off the relationship, and then I was broken, and I was vulnerable to Prince Harming, who, if you read Holy Sober, you'll read about both of these things in Holy Sober. But Prince Harming was a very evil person, and a con man, a psychopath, or is that the right word that I'm using? Psychopath. It's where they have no conscience about what they do. I asked him if he was married. He said he'd never been married. Fast forward a year and a half later, 2 years into it, he was still married to two people. I was so vulnerable and naive, and could not believe people like this existed. But it left me vulnerable because I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't acknowledging it. I wasn't standing in my truth and owning my part in this, and really accepting that, I made a mistake, and now I'm moving forward. That's who I was. This is who I am. And I know who I want to become. And that's where our energy and our focus needs to be. If you're telling yourself that you drink because you can't shut off, explore that deeper through writing. Why can't I shut off? What is it that what are the thoughts? What are the emotions? What is the beliefs that keep swirling inside of me that I am not wanting to face? And it may be that you need to make a job change. And it may be that you need to connect with your mom and tell her, I love you, and I know you made mistakes, and I forgive you. It may be, and I'm just pulling things out of my hat here. It may be that you need to face choices that you made when you were younger, but you're still being haunted by them. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is that's getting in the way of you becoming the greatest expression of who you are, face it, put it on paper. You don't have to have a witness. You just need to acknowledge it and say, maybe create a ritual and set it free, but make peace with it. Okay? So the closing quote for today, and I love this quote because it really tells us the exact truth of it is. But her story isn't finished. And for once, she's picked up a pen. Kelsey Sutton. And that's exactly what I'm inviting you to do. Pick up your pen. Your story's not finished. You get to create the rest of your life intentionally. Okay, that's it for today.